Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day 20 of the Bones Diary series. Honestly, it's a surprise. It's day 20, everyone. I'm honestly quite stoked. I will admit, I'm very surprised. I realize, again, thinking about it, that it is certainly a little different because, for me, it's just me talking to a mic while looking at the screen, and maybe for your guys on your end, like on your, I guess, perspective, it could be like you're just pretending as if this is like a phone call with an old friend, a voice call, or just looking at like a video, kind of putting it in the background while I'm rambling on and on about nonsense while you're doing other work and just going to bed or something like that. Um, but it is lovely. It is amazing. Just kind of doing this and just kind of getting, I guess, my thoughts out. Like just random thoughts. Doesn't necessarily have to be tied into anything, but just random thoughts. I guess quick update for today. Today was quite literally a lazy day. I admit it was a very big lazy day. Just chilled out. Ate good food, watched TV and everything. It was just nice. It was pleasant. Ended up shaving my beard. Did a proper clean shave and everything. Got my suit out and ready because I got my interview tomorrow. So I'm very excited for that. Very, very thrilled for that. I'm going to be going in tomorrow looking all dressed, all clean shaven, Gonna get myself the proper cologne, make it smell, make myself smell nice, all that. And bring out the good old Bones charm, what I'm saying? Like the very suave, aspect to it. God, I'm going to be terrible, aren't I? I don't know. I don't know yet for that, but it will certainly be interesting, and it'll be great to see how that goes. Later in the day, I also have a eye doctor appointment, so I'm going to be taking care of that too. Tomorrow, I guess the video might be a little bit more short in length because, with the eye doctor, to get my eyes dilated and everything, so it's going to be a pain to, stare at the screen, but, whatever. That's a tomorrow problem to deal with, so I'll take care of that then. I wanted to talk about the last video for the superhero movie rambling one. 30 views. I am very stoked. I know one of my other videos got like 40 something, and I just want to say thank you guys. Truly, thank you very, very much. And to the lovely person that commented in the last video, I honestly couldn't agree more. It was probably like one of the best comments I'd seen in a while because they were talking about the Superman movie, and they were saying that they enjoyed the movie. It was great, but they just didn't like how Mr. Terrific, supposed to be the smartest person in the comics, but didn't see that Lex Luthor was evil and had a pocket dimension. And honestly, that was the funniest comment I had read in a hot minute because I honestly didn't register that while watching the movie. I'm just like, okay, cool, like he knows about pocket dimensions, he knows about like all that, scientific stuff, and I knew that he was the smartest person in comics, but I was like, okay, he in it to win it, doing all that stuff. And then this person pointed out like he doesn't know that Lex Luthor. I'm like, you know what, that is kind of true. I agree with that. That was a very fair point that you brought up. You know what I mean? I really appreciate that. But then again, at the same time, it's like comic books themselves and comic book movies themselves are also weird too. You know what I mean? Like depending on the media that you look at, it's just crazy. You know what I mean? Because like you have other iterations of Lex Luthor, right? Where like he's like the business tycoon that everyone loves and everything. Doing his psychotic plans and still like retaining full control of his business and schemes and everything. And I'm like, well, damn. That's wow, imagine going to prison for like, months and then coming back out still being a billionaire. That's wild, And there's other iterations where like he runs for presidency and in some universe he gets the presidency. And I'm like, damn, look at that, dude. Like imagine being a full-blown president and then having a bounty hit, on like Superman of all people as the president. Like, yes, I call upon other heroes to go arrest and kill this man for a bounty because he murdered another man. That was all part of my scheme. Like it's the funniest thing to me. It's just always interesting. And I was thinking about that thing where like how would it be like if I was a superhero? You know what I mean? Like if I was a superhero, like would I follow, I guess, the same moralic principles as like, you see superheroes in movies, like like the no kill code, or like, trying to save everyone, trying to do this. It's like I was thinking about that, and I always ask that question to some of my friends who are like, hey, like let's say if you were a superhero, right, and you had all this power and everything, would you follow those kind of rules? You know what I mean? And it's always interesting hearing other people talk about it, because some people are like, well, it depends on who I'm kind of, like what kind of person I am and what my rogue gallery is. You know what I mean? And it's always interesting because it's like, for people that, like, say, it's a very interesting dynamic, because it's like if they were more the Superman, power scale setup, but they had like the villains like Lex Luthor and Doomsday and General Zod and Darkseid and everything, then it's immediately like, yes, I'll save everyone, but then I'll kill my rogue gallery. Like, they're done, they're gone. I'm not dealing with that for the rest of my life. They are gone. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, if they're, let's say, dealing with Flash, right, fastest man alive, but then you have his rogue gallery, right, then it's all good, it's all clean, it's all like, yes, I'll save everyone and I won't kill them because they're people with principles. And that is actually true. If I don't know if anyone is big on comics like that. I realize now that I'm talking about this more, I'm like the biggest nerd. I'm kind of nerding out right now, you know what I mean? But it's like his rogue gallery actually do follow principles. They're like, oh yes, we'll rob these places, we won't necessarily kill anyone, we don't deal anything negative with children. It's just, we're doing our own thing, it's clean, efficient, get out sort of thing. And that's pretty cool, because what would you really want to fight against, like the world's fastest man? You know what I mean? The one that can like pick you up and drop you into like the North Pole in like a second flat. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, why would you want to deal with that? I always love talking about the whole Batman aspect to it. You know what I mean? It's like, let's say you got like the whole Batman setup, like you're the multi-billionaire philanthropist, in one side, but then at night you're like the dark crusader, the vigilante, and you're dealing with like your rogues gallery that's like Harley Quinn, Joker, you're dealing with Poison Ivy, Killer Croc, so forth and so on, right? And it's interesting hearing that, because more so hearing them talk about it, because this is like one of those things where I kind of slightly agree with a little bit, where it's like, yes, I will handle everyone else except the Joker, because the Joker is just incurable, like fully incurable. I'm like, I get it, I kind of see it, you know what I'm saying? I can understand where that's coming from, but I guess what I'm trying to say, like, I'd like to hear your guys, take on, like, let's say if you were to pick, the hero that you want to be in, right, or like the hero's life that you want to be in, how would you handle their rogues gallery? Like, would you like try to follow the no kill rule, or would you just be like, nope, done, clean slate, I'm not dealing with that, but I'm saving everyone? You know what I'm saying? Like, how would you approach that? I think that's always fascinating to talk about. It's interesting, it does lead into a really interesting conversation, but I mean, honestly, I'm quite excited though. Superhero movies aside, there's also the anime movies coming out too. Anime movies like Demon Slayer, I think, comes out in September, so that's pretty cool. That's pretty exciting. Definitely I want to see Chainsaw Man. I'm a big Chainsaw Man fan, I admit it. Big nerd over here. So I'm very stoked to see that one too. I think that one's either in September or October. I think more so in October, really. But very cool to see that as well. And Tron. Unironically, I do want to see Tron. Tron Ares. That'll be pretty interesting. I admit Jared Leto is a weird pick for the main lead, but I am very interested still either way to see how he does it. I'm still very interested to see how he does it. I remember, when the trailer came out, everyone was more so surprised that he was the main lead. And for me, it's more so like, you know what, I just want to see how the artist, or the actor in this case, handles the role in particular. I want to see how that goes out. I'll do a movie review for that either way, but we'll get to there when we get to there, of course. Otherwise not too bad. I'd say. Honestly, again, as I realize that I'm kind of nearing my limit for right now, because I still have to get everything ready for tomorrow and all that stuff, and I still gotta make dinner later. I just want to say thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Thank you, everyone, for listening, for joining the ride, joining, I guess, the daily series. Please, by all means, let me know what you like for me to talk about more. If you want me to talk more about certain topics or more specialized things or themes, just let me know, please. Put in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. I'd love to hear what interests you more as the viewer. I'll kind of shorten down my daily, updates and everything, and focus more on that. So just let me know. And I just want to say I appreciate you guys. I mean, or if you want me to talk about random stuff, you can just say it. You'll like my voice. You can just say it. It's okay. Again, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. I'm here to simply entertain and talk, and I just want to say to you, my audience, thank you very much. So I just want to say have a lovely night. Much love.